shit. Hang on just a
Still think it's a good idea?
Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay. Welcome to the A&M podcast, where that's going to be our intro every time, and I'm gonna try not to drown with every intro. I didn't really quite. I practiced this, like in the behind the. Yeah.
I heard you.
I was like, all right, I think it's this mug. Like your one, for example, the lip's really thin. I think you prefer the thinner lips. I'm not a huge thin lip person, as you can see. This is my lovely wife, Ashely. That's the A in A&M. My name is Myles. Today's podcast subject, League of Legends.
What else would you talk about?
League of Legends and Riot Games. I tell you. But yeah, when I was practicing this, I think the thicker mug doesn't give quite a, kind of noise. So I think that's why I nearly killed myself just then. And we're demonetized straight away. Before first podcast, without even, barely getting in, the algorithm is just going to hear that and go,
You probably better just start over.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's going to happen every time. Oh, you know what? Actually, I think you can't do it till you have 100 or 1,000 subs. It's 1,000 subs, right? Remember I told you that? Yeah. It didn't used to be like that. Oh, man, that is another podcast for another time. Talking about how YouTube used to be. Because you weren't really around those days, you know?
Much. Yeah.
Yeah, those days, man, it's been a roller coaster, but it's been a roller coaster downward. There's ups and downs, but it's really just down only.
It's just chutes and ladders without the ladders.
No, it's ladders, but you can't go up. There's, thumbtacks on the top pieces. I don't know, just shh. Okay, there's thumbtacks on the snakes too. I don't care, whatever, okay? So, League of Legends. I've been playing since, I want to say season 1. I had watched people play in the beta, perhaps the alpha. It's a little while ago now, so I really don't know when I actually end up, seeing it. I remember probably one of the oldest times was some of the super, or the more old pro players who don't play anymore, like Dyrus. They were playing it. The map looked like dog crap. It was really bad. The graphics were really bad back then. And as you've seen from some of the splash arts, you would have to Google them because you didn't play at a time where those splash arts were the splash arts. But they were awful renders. Season 1, Season 2, I was probably bronze, maybe 2 or 3 seasons. Silver the next. Gold since. Plat a couple times. Plat 1, I should have gone D5, but you know what though? Because we're going to get into it anyway. I think with the time when I hit Plat 1, I didn't go for it from fear. But had I have, I think I would have actually just demoted anyway, because it was at the time where we're trying to climb right now, and all the boosters and all the win traders and stuff, they're out in full swing, And also you have people you have people too, which makes sense, that the whole season they haven't played ranked. And I get that when you play normals, you think it's the same game, because you're playing the same game. But in a competitive setting, the meta, there's a real thing, right? And you can go against the meta to create your own, and that's fine. But when you don't even understand what a meta is coming into a ranked into a ranked game, at the end of the season where everyone's just trying to get that last bit, you're mostly, we might have one person that kind of knows what's up.
Yeah.
I
would say that.
What do we have today?
Yeah.
Couple Lucians, I think. No, I had a couple Lucians. I think you versed one today? That was, we just versed.
We versed one, yeah.
Yeah.
We only played one game today.
Yeah.
But...
Just lean forward just a little bit from baby. Yeah. Yeah, it's been tough. I don't think that we're going to be able to climb it into gold for the rewards. But transition, Justicar Aatrox. Oh, I'm sorry. Victorious Aatrox. Slipped my mind because they're very, very different skins. What's your thoughts on that?
Same as everyone else, pretty much. That they look very similar. If anything, I'd say Justicar probably even looks better.
100%. I totally agree. We were having this conversation the other day. Maokai? I think Maokai was my first gold skin. And I think at that time I didn't even know I got gold until I had the skin. And I found out one day, I'm like, I didn't even play Maokai. Like, what is this crap? Because I still didn't really know about the game, but I had just happened to get gold 5 at the time. And I was like, oh, you know what? This is a good skin. I don't mind that. I can't remember what happened afterwards. I think Morgana's is fairly decent. There's something cartoony about it in a way. Maybe it's the special effects. Maybe there's something there I don't quite like about it. What else is there's a third one. What was the third one we were talking about that's actually not that bad as well? Maokai? Morgana?
I can't remember. I know we mentioned that
There was a
Sivers
third, right?
is garbage.
Oh, Graves. A lot of
Yeah.
people didn't like Graves. And I get that, but I think the reason why I like Graves is because I got gold in 3s, which gave you a white chroma. I think that's the mode. Someone correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but the white chroma version of it, I really liked. And I had gotten it. And I'm pretty sure it was 3s because not many people play 3s. So I think I went into games being like, I look totally different from all the other people. But I can understand that the base and all of the other chromas didn't quite hit the mark. And I think every season since just hasn't been good design. I purely think that the checklist that they have from the art director and the art team, where they go, okay, what is a Victorious skin? What do we need to put in it to make it a Victorious skin? I think it's the weird regal, you know, what is that? Like not the thorn thing. What is that called? Like a wreath kind of thing?
I guess.
Like whatever that design pattern is, that.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
I think that's just not visually appealing. And then the colors they've chosen have gotten duller over time. I feel like Victorious Maokai was a lot more golden, a lot more rich in color, which worked, I think, especially for him, because him being a tree, there's like darker parts of him that can make it pop. All these other ones seem to be very more neutral. And and I'm like the Jarvan one and the Jarvan and Jana. What was the third one? I think there's a third one. They're pretty neutral, but they have their own spot because most people didn't even play when that came out. So to play ranked and get gold was a big achievement. So you don't even see those skins. Most people don't have those skins. When you see it, you're like, respect. You're in silver in season 9 now. You played like 5 years ago and got that skin, but you've declined since, but still you give respect. But I don't know. When they showed that teaser, what was that teaser for?
You talking for Lulu? You talking about?
Oh no, the 10th anniversary. The 10th anniversary like trailer thing they had.
I was excited for Victorious Lulu when they leaked that.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't see the...
No, I saw it. That's what I was going to bring up. Yeah, they panned over it, and then someone
like them
paused
designing it on the screen. Yeah,
exactly.
It looks pretty cool.
You know what? That may not even be Victorious Lulu. They might have thrown it in as, to throw people off.
Yeah,
from
no,
what it was.
I'm sure it wasn't an actual leak.
Yeah, exactly.
It was intentional.
But when I saw it, even I was like, really?
It still would have been better than Victoria's Aatrox. I'd rather have that.
I agree. And you know what? People, I think, because they go in a rotation, support, I believe, was supposed to be the next one. So they've broken the chain now. But I think the support, they're going, oh, yeah, Lulu, all adds up. makes sense. And then I was looking at it going, no, looks boring. Makes sense because it's probably not. It's probably just them doing something.
Yeah, it was just like a concept.
Exactly, just to throw us off, and I get that. But, dude,
Yeah.
when I saw the Victorious Aatrox skin, that looked awful. And then when someone linked the picture side by side to Justicar Aatrox, which was his first skin many years ago, and now it's so damn similar. And they're introducing like this weird, like neutrally kind of purpley pinkish kind of color into it instead of the blue that they had going in earlier seasons. It's the wrong direction.
I agree.
And like I don't
know where they're going with that. I read an article that said it's because of his popularity, but
that's how Victoria's skins work.
Yeah,
from the season, whoever got played a lot. Yeah, exactly. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It's just because of his rework, that people took more interest in him. I still don't see him a ton, though. But
he's banned a lot. His ban rate's pretty high for,
that's true.
I mean, a top bruiser over quite a few of the assassins that are pretty ridiculous right now. In my own opinion, of course.
Word.
But just seeing that skin, I mean, again, I don't play Maokai. I probably played Morgana at the time, but I don't use that skin. I don't think it's one of her best skins. Probably not even top 3 in my book. Sivers looks like she throws some like really weird donut. It looks awful. Oh, you know what? No, you probably haven't seen it. In Europe and back home in Australia, we have these biscuits that have like a little hole in the center. And they have this like weird pattern on it. And I think that's why I don't like it, because it looks like she throws a biscuit in a really bad way. Like she could have, the pizza one I get, people saying throw a pizza, that was a big meme for a while. Yeah. Thank God she got that skin. They could do it with a biscuit as well. But that is just an awful looking skin. Yeah. And the splash art. Look, from an artist's point of view, where was their artist's team?
I think the splash art is probably even better than the skin itself in game.
I totally agree.
It's still not great.
Totally agree. But I think that the splash art, I hope at some point, maybe just across the Victorious line, they update it a little bit. Speaking of splash arts, the new Senna splash arts, have you seen them?
I don't think I have. I think I've just seen her trailers.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Kiana. You saw the Kiana one today, right? What do you think of that splash art, in your opinion?
I thought it was really good.
Interesting.
I like that, obviously it's like a different style. She's got kind of this like gangster thing going on, which is kind of cool. Like that works for her.
Yeah.
I think that the artist did really well with the splash art, especially in that it doesn't look as like cartoony as a lot of the. There's a lot of detail and stuff. Like I appreciate that, and a lot of the even just like the champs, like you said about Senna's face, is really like simple, and like they're leaning more towards this like super cartoony. Like simplistic style.
Yeah, it's a little more simple. Like,
it's kind of more mainstream, like other games, like Fortnite, Overwatch.
I mean, they're tilting that way. They're not.
Yeah, and I think
super in that way.
However, think it's the wrong thing to do because
go ahead.
We love League for the reasons that we love it, because of the way that it is. We don't want it to be like other games or look like other games.
Yeah. And I'm sure that in the background, they've got the people looking at the stats, and the younger audience is bigger than our age bracket. A lot of it
is, I'm sure.
Yeah, which makes sense. But I mean, is that our phone?
That's my phone. Yeah. I don't even know where it is.
It's in here. This could not have been.
Sorry about that. It is my mom, so.
This could not have been a better podcast. We will, dude, we have to have a podcast with her at some point.
I don't think she would do it.
I can convince her. I can convince her.
She's gonna have a fit that I didn't answer my phone, even though I have a legitimate reason.
Look, we have only just rolled our car in the ditch on the side of the road where there's no traffic at all in the middle of the mountains. We're okay. We'll send her a message in the morning and say it's okay.
Yep,
No way.
This is what she does. She doesn't get an answer from me, and then she calls Miles.
Okay. She's just going to have to wait. League is more important right now. We're trying to climb.
Oh,
So,
yikes.
what were we saying? The splash arts,
Yeah.
they're tilting more in the simplistic style of...
That said, in game, yeah, I like Kiana's new splash art.
Yeah.
In game,
Are you talking the
I don't like the
prestige,
style
white
of her
one?
champion. Huh?
Like the prestige white one or the like pinky goldy kind of looking one, the base one?
I think they both looked good.
Yeah.
Obviously, that artist knows what she's doing. Like,
We apologize for the phones. We will definitely turn them off next podcast.
I at least turned
Mine's,
my
like, going
volume
off.
down, you noob.
Yeah. Sorry.
But, yeah, I think in game, her as a champion, her like Senna, the style
Model.
of her face and everything is very modern and cartoony.
Yeah.
And I don't like it. Even
Yeah.
like when I see her in game, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
They could have done so much better with her.
Yeah.
She's a cool concept, like who she is as a champion.
Yeah, the
and
weapon
her abilities
is-
and stuff. Yeah, like all
Exactly.
really cool. But the way she's designed, I don't like it. The style, the art style,
Yeah.
it's just not my cup of tea.
I would want to know if they've changed art directors or they've had
Yeah.
a bigger team come through.
I imagine that they probably just have so many more people working on it now, and they.
Yeah. It's the director's call at the end of the day to direct what direction it goes, right? That just makes sense. I sound dumb, but essentially I think that they're making choices or they're probably being told to keep it within a very set, criteria of what it needs to hit. And I remember the time when, Shyvana, when she had all her skin visual splash arts updated, that her main one was like the new updated original Pantheon splash art. What was another one? They had very, very detailed, completely different styles to the rest of the game. And at that time, I remember telling myself, I think they outsourced it. I don't think that their in-home team had a lot to do with it. But when I saw that, I said, great artist, great art. I especially, Pantheon's a little bit less because it definitely looked more out of the realm of League in terms of the style across all splash arts than Shiv's.
Yeah.
Shiv's face, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was good. I really want to see that back later on. Like, I stuck my tongue out. I did some weird facial stuff with that.
It gets weirder every time.
Every time. I know. It's. I'm gonna make it weirder every time. But hers, when they did that, I said yes, but no. And then they got into a groove. They all were coming out with the same kind of direction. Great. And then what happened? It wasn't Zoe. I feel like there was one or two before Zoe that was a little tilting a little to the other side of cartoony, but not quite. And you were kind of like, okay, it's for the kiddies, I guess. It makes sense. Then Zoe came out, and I think it was more about the champion design is for the kiddies, not just like the visual style. It's just the whole thing goes along with it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then since it's been full tilt, cartoon is not the right word, but
yeah.
Oh, true. Yeah, they're just more rounded and smooth and
Yeah, these little Disney
polished, and they have
That's basically what they are.
I wish that people joking that it's a Disney-esque thing. I wish that it was just a joke. I really wish that it wasn't people saying it seriously. It sucks.
Yeah.
But Senna's a little different. Her original splash art, her base skin. Visually, from an artist's perspective, I saw the original artwork from one of the first artists. Their face style is very different. So they've had other people come in and touch it up. I saw the steps in it there are definitely a few faces that were painted on. However, the one that they've gone with, because of the pose that they had with the chin sticking out and up and the cameras coming from underneath, this area looks really strange. Just immediately off the bat, anatomically, the shape just quite doesn't hit it. And a lot of artists don't really practice that angle from underneath and, like sticking up and how it would look. So I get it looks a little wide and just... I don't really know what it is. But then it throws off the rest of her face. So really it just looks like the rest of the splash art's great. But this section under her hood...
It seems like there always is one section that is like a little off.
Yeah. But often it blends enough. This is the main thing. The eyes are not too bad.
Usually is the face.
The eyes with like the glowing thing is not too bad, but the rest is bad. Like facially, there's something wrong. And then you move to the True Damage skin. It's a little better, but it's still quite plain. And like the nose, like I get because of, what she is, African American. I don't know what you guys use, or I don't even know what she is. Like what her design actually is.
I don't remember what her lore, like where says she's from. She's like like jungle city, right, or something like.
I don't know whether I'm gonna get in trouble.
We'll call her biracial, okay? That works. She's biracial.
Whatever it is, I agree. I mean, I know a lot of people go around.
Tone, like
Yeah. So I get the whole like wide base nostrils and everything. Like it makes sense, but the thing is, it's very just like flat and bland. The hair's cool. I love the hair concept. The hair concept's great.
That's what her champion is now, I think they did a good job with the skin and the splash art and everything, but...
The True Damage one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I like that one better than the original. Yeah. And today I played her on the PBE. And I was talking to you about that. Mm. In game, I like the skin for specific reasons. And then also I don't like it. Now, I didn't play it without the skin. So tomorrow I'll probably log in, play it without it. There are some chromas.
I gotta see the Prestige one again, too, because I don't really remember.
The Prestige one of Keanu Reeves?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Don't get me started on that one. There's something about Kiana in general that I just don't like.
Yeah.
Something about her face. This is something about it. This one's better.
She's very
actual different. Kiana, I don't like. What's her other skin? Oh, it's like a battle boss one, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Same thing. I think there's something. I don't know. Something about their faces. Whatever group of people they're getting to do the faces, are just going a little more semi-realistic than they should with realism, to a point. Yeah. Like my style is very realistic, so I get it. I'm not trying to be biased, but I like the way that the game used to look to a degree. When Scion came, I don't think you were even playing. I don't know when Scion got reworked. Scion looked just like a wet cauldron rolling down the lane. It was awful. He looked awful. And then all of a sudden they're like, all right, we're creating a complete new concept of champions called Juggernauts, which just sounds terrifying in itself. Mm. And they're like, we're going to update other people like Mordekaiser. He's going to be a Juggernaut too, and all these other people. And you're like, oh, shit, okay. And then they brought out this Scion that is just a brick. He is straight up and down. There's no shape. He just waddles over like this and then is like, I have this big thing. Let me hit. And then you die. Seeing that was hugely terrifying. Big open thing in his stomach. That was the days.
Yeah.
Whatever group they had doing that, that's it. That's the style. Do that.
Yeah, there was another leaning more towards like rainbows and butterflies and less like the dark, creepy shit that we fucking love.
Yeah, I guess, you know what? That makes sense, that it's really just a battle of the age groups. That makes sense. Yeah. I think Mordekaiser as well seems a little soft. Like it's not quite as honed.
Yeah, he's definitely been like muted a little bit.
Yeah. I think. That, you know what? That's what it is. they're going a lot more neutral. WoW did this for a while too. They still are. They're for a long while. Back in the early days, things were really like popping with vibrance and all that kind of stuff, and you'd get it. It was like a banana suit. People call it this set a banana suit. You look like a banana, amongst other descriptions of things. And we loved it. And then they went to a more realistic approach because the models got updated. Fair enough, that was okay. And then it was just neutral crap for many expansions. And I think now, because we have quit since recently, they're bringing more colorful things back in because finally they're like, okay, people have been screaming about this for years. We have 12 people playing at peak time. We probably should do something about that. So
I was just thinking about WoW today. I do still like want to play it sometimes. So.
I miss it for the old days.
Yeah.
But
they have classic
you can
WoW
never get it back
now, so
yeah. Different podcast. That's a long one. The splash arts, I'll move away from that. I'll talk about Senna for a second. So I love Senna's passive. It's what
you tried her in the PvE, right?
Yep. Her passive is great. Very, very necessary to make the concept of that.
Excuse me.
What are you talking about? Very necessary to make that concept of that champion work. If you play Pike, he scales in a way that the AD works. He had the health thing that, gives him some AD with the health and all that kind of jazz. She's supposed to be an attack damage ranged support. Love the idea. Wanted it for ages. Can't remember a time where a champion came out and I wanted to play her and main her now, which is very different from Xerath. Xerath, one-trick support player. Drastically different. Love the way she works. Her passive stacks attack damage, attack range, lifesteal, and crit. If you didn't have that, she couldn't scale into the late game because you don't get enough gold to buy ADC items. So she has to get stats from somewhere to make up for it. So that was a given. She had to have that. Made sense when I saw it. Her Q feels long in a way, but you can only aim it halfway. So whatever you hit, whether it's an enemy or an ally, hit an ally, it heals. It will still go through and damage further. Or you hit an enemy, it'll damage the enemy and continue to hit, the ones behind as well. It feels good. She feels slow to a point because she's kind of this like, I lug this big thing around and I so she's supposed to be this more like sluggish to attack, but not sluggish to move. So her auto attacks are slower because she has this like animation. It feels good to use. I must say that could have been clunky as shit. They must have had that being tweaked at for a long time to finally just get it feel right. So well done, Riot, for that, because that could have sucked. That could have made the champion really, really, really crap to play. The W, you know what? I have honestly the W feels good too. You shoot out this, like ghost thing, or the true damage one might be some kind of like sound wave, I think. Yeah, it's like a sound wave thing. Excuse me. It hits the first thing it hits, not just champion, hits minions too. In 1 to 3 seconds, whatever the duration is, then it snares. So it does damage in the beginning, and then like a Varus ulti, except Varus ult snares the first person, and then after a while it'll snare people around him. This thing will delay, so they can still move for a bit, then it will snare, and in a small area, it will snare others as well. It feels really good to use. Yeah. It's a decent range. Cool. Feels pretty good. The E I don't like, purely because it feels like a sort of shittier version of Pike's W. When you W on Pike, he's W'd because you have the animation and you have the noise. But when you W on her, but you can't see him. With her, you can see...
her, right?
What's that?
You mean E, right?
Yes, her E. What did I say?
You said W.
No, Pike's W.
Yeah, you said when you W on her.
Oh, sorry. Yes, thank you for the correction. When you E on her, you see the cloud. She's the center always. So if you are gonna hit her with some kind of non-point and click ability, you can still adjust and probably still get her. But she makes everyone else around her invisible. But it's not very big, so it's kind of like having a Kali's shroud with Pike's W, but it in a shittier way. I feel like it's not as useful as it seems. I could be wrong. Champion could come out, could be just like unreal. I could sort of maybe see a Rise. Look, new meta. I'm bringing it out right now. It was from this podcast, the A&M podcast. Okay, Rise, Senna bot lane, because the ulti, and then her Eing. When you go in, everyone's invisible. After Rise teleports you all in. As long as there's not a Malphite on the other team to completely pentakill everyone, that has happened way too much.
AP Malphite.
You know what? Just a quick thought. To make Rise worth something, they could just make his ult that 0.5 seconds after he comes out, anyone comes out of his ult, they're invulnerable. That's a pretty good change, I feel like. Small tweaks like that can make a big difference.
Yeah.
To play rate. Like Bard, I was thinking the other day. People are picking up Bard more, but I think that because people think the game is more boring and they're trying to pick things that are more fun to play, which is what I'm doing. That's why I like playing Bard. When he got some nerfs, I think the only thing, like if they had to do one thing, if someone sat me down and said, name one thing that might get everyone to start playing Bard again, genuinely, I think if they added just a little bit of range on his Q. I think he's supposed to feel like a short to mid-ranged kind of mage, but I have always felt that when I max range Q someone and they're near the wall, it doesn't extend enough to hit the wall, so it doesn't stun. Even if they change that, they didn't change the range of it, but they changed the extension range to what it would hit by a very small amount. People would start playing it. But I digress.
They need to make his portal easier to click on too. Which I've gotten
See, that's hard though, because you could misclick that and then it becomes more of a problem.
Yeah.
But I totally get what you're saying. Sometimes I misclick it. Most of the time I don't, because I've been around it more.
Yeah.
It's a little more new to you, so
it's
yes,
only when I really fucking need it.
Exactly. And that's like a Thresh land. That's exactly like a Thresh land though. You can panic and just like miss it, and you're clicking the wrong thing, and now you're attacking someone else, and you're like, no, that's not what I want. Let me oh god damn it. And then you get mad because you could have kept running, but you're like, oh, the lantern's there, I'll click that, and then you died because you were trying to click the lantern instead of just running away.
Yeah.
So I'm totally with you on that. Senna's ulti feels pretty good. I feel like the wind-up time is just a little long, but I think that's because of how unbelievably ridiculous it is. It doesn't do as much damage as you think. At least in the bot game that I played. I played a game of bots, and I played them on beginner, which I think their stats are lower. So I think their health is less. Plus, they don't have as many items as well. You know, they don't get a lot of gold, so they're not building a lot. So when I was full build... Oh, by the way, really mana hungry, and I think cooldown matters an unbelievable amount on her. So I think that I figured out that the only viable way to make her work is you need some mana from something. She can build AP or AD. AD gives way more. Like the ratio in PvE right now, I think I worked out it was something like 40%-ish. I don't know whether this was the Q or the ulti. I think I might have worked it off the ulti. Something like 40% AP, but it was like 90% AD. So I think you need to have an Ardent in your kit for mana regen. And when you heal someone, of course, it's going to make them attack faster. That makes sense to me. I think the AP gets on your kit. It all works. I think that's the only AP item you build. I think you have to go Aerie, into mana flow band. I think you have to have the mana flow band, or you're just gonna have so many problems with mana in lane.
Yeah.
Then I would pick up. I think I picked up the 10% CDR, and the last one doesn't really matter whether you go Scorch or you go Gathering Storm. But essentially, I would rush, even though it's expensive. I would rush Essence Reaver to get CDR, but also because every auto attack gives you mana. I think it's hands down going to be one of the best on her. You get crit, and then after you stack however many abilities. Oh, I didn't even talk about that. Her stacking feels great. Just on champions, when you kill them, 100% drops an orb from what I could tell. Chance to drop an orb on minions. When it drops an orb, or well, that's the true damage skin. It drops like a little DJ ball. On the original, I think it's like a ghoul. It's a one-hit minion that lasts 4 to 5 seconds. So if you don't get it, you don't get the stack. You have to attack it. Then you get the stack. It feels good to stack it up. It feels good to get extra range, get all this crit and stuff. But I got to the point where late game, I had fed a lot of bots though. I got a lot of gold. I had 101.5% crit from my passive. So I had over 100% crit. And I had built 2 crit items. So I only need half of that. But the life still felt great. Everything felt great about it. I think good luck getting her in champion select. That's what I say. That's every season. But I think a lot of people are seeing this kit and they're saying, oh my God, that's busted. But also, too, they're like, that actually finally looks fun.
Yeah.
Kiana
I agree.
looked fun. I think a lot of people think she's fun. I don't think she's that fun. It's a very strange kit. Definitely just not my playstyle. She felt strong when I played it, but I couldn't really work it out. And then you see other people who get it, and they're just 3-hitting. You know? So to each their own. But I think Senna is going to have a lot of people going, oh, I'm going to play Senna mid AP just because you can. You could play it AD, but they're probably not going to. They're going to be people... let me think about this. Could you jungle on that? You probably can, because the W hits enemies, not champions. So you can snare and kite camps. But the cooldowns are long, so I don't know whether that'll work. Anyways... Senna, I will be maining once the hype is a little over and she's been nerfed into the ground to the point where I probably shouldn't play her anymore, or try even attempt to play her. But I'm down for that, because I'm often wanting to play ADC sometimes when you're playing ADC, and I feel like I just don't want to because I'm taking it from you. You don't have as much fun on Leona. You do well, you do have fun, but I don't think it's as much. And this kind of closes that gap that I can help with a little bit of heals. Ardent Sentencer gives you attack speed, but I can still alongside you be like, what up? What up? What up?
Yeah.
And then when they're running away, I wind that ult up and it's just and then they sidestep it and I don't kill them, but it feels good.
Well, even though I enjoy ADC more for the most part, I don't mind playing Leona at all, and I will be happy to do that probably once the season is over.
That's right. Yeah. But see, at that point, then I'm going to be like, I'm going to check to see if ADC Janna works. That's when people just play really ridiculous things.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I was playing Leona for a bit to try and give you the carry and see if that would work better for us. It really didn't.
That was weird. And I think I've just realized that segues into the next thing. I knew I was forgetting something to talk about, and that's the ranked LP system. When you queue up to a different role, it says, okay, you are a different rank in that role. So I think that when I was going ADC and you were going support, the game just went, okay, different people, they need different people in this game. And I think I'm I think I'm good at ADC. I think just the game didn't know. So I think all the people on my team were so inexperienced, I'll put it that way, that on Varus, that I love to play Varus because attack moving on him feels so fun because it gets so fast that it's just click, 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 click. Like you have to really be good at it. Like I would be like 14-3 or something, and many people
we'd still lose.
Understandably would argue, well, if you're 14-3, you should be able to carry that game. That's on you. There were mistakes in the end of the game that I made that did throw the games, but at the end of the day, if I'm that fed, and I'm a shot caller too, people don't want to listen. Which fair enough. Competitive game, they're playing their own thing. You know, someone says go do this thing, you say fuck you. I'm gonna do what I want. I loaded into this game to do what I wanted to do, which was not listen to you. That was the reason I came on. So you know, but.
Pretty much.
I think that it just throws off the game. So while I'm super fed on Varus most games, we just don't win. And that's the same with Bard. Yeah. I feel like I go 10-3 pretty often. Bard falls off hard though. I can definitely feel it in that regard. But by that point, we should be able to do objectives really easily.
Yeah.
And I lose, like my win rate on Bard is unmentionable right now. It's too low. It sucks.
Yeah.
Anyway, so rank system. Everyone ready for this? This is the everyone's crying out. Season 9's shit. Like why can't they fix this damn game? I sound like Yasuo right now, and 100% I'm with him. Season 9 is absolute dog crap. This is how you fix it. Are you ready? They have a system already in place. Imagine they already have a system that they could use that would make everybody happy in League of Legends. They don't even have to code it. Like, they sit down for one day. When you play a game, at the end of the game, you get ranked. From S+ to like a D, whatever the bottom, like I don't get that low, so it's a D, maybe an E. I don't know, it's probably D. That should determine what your LP is at the end of the game. That's it.
Agree.
If you play a game and you lose, and I'm 14-3 with 9 assists on Varus, so I have an 80% kill participation, my CS, let's say at 20 minutes, is like 150. We'll bring it probably like down, because it could be 180 at that point. Say it's 150. I'm so far up there that I still get an S. Now, if I lose a game, but I still got an S, and keep in mind, you can't pad that as good as people are like, type in comments about this, because I genuinely want to hear your opinion on this. If you go that hard, you can't say, oh, well, people are just gonna sit back and like KS and just go and farm all the game. Your KDA and all of the relevant information that it takes to rate that is not going to be what it needs to be to rank you higher. You have to still participate in the game completely. Maybe they need to include, if they don't already, hitting Baron, hitting Dragon. How much percentage of that objective did you do? Hitting towers for the split pushes. You know, all this stuff. It's all ranked. And if I come out of a game and I lose and I got an S, I should still gain like 6 or 7 LP. Random number thrown out of my head. I think I might have said like one day like 8 to 13 LP, something like that. If I still played super good and I got an S, but I lost, I should still go up a little bit. But if you
I think at the very least you shouldn't lose.
True.
LP.
Baseline 0 LP.
Yeah.
Yeah, lost or gained. Yep, that makes sense to me. Like bottom, at least that makes sense. That's an S, let's say S+. I think that's what it was. Maybe S+ is like 13 LP, so it is still up there. No, 13's a bit high. We'll go like 8. I think 8 sounds good.
For a loss.
If you get an A in the A range, maybe you're getting like 5 or 4. Because at least then you can still... You would still play. Because if you're a good player and you are one of those people saying, my team is shit and I'm good every game, that would genuinely show people that they are shit at the game. If you're shit at the game, you're getting bad scores and you lose, you'll still be losing LP.
Yeah.
However, if you lose a game and you're a D, it should be devastating. Because that should show you, bruh, you're where you shouldn't be.
In ranks when you should be in bonds.
Exactly. So when you win and you get an S+, that should
I get
be
a
in the
C
30s.
every now and then, so I can't really say anything, but...
Yeah, I think that you could climb very high, and I think the point of that would separate the good players would climb easier and get the hell out of that elo so that you're actually in the elo you need to be.
Yeah.
I think it's a system that's already in place that could easily work, and then you don't have to worry about everyone else on your team.
Yeah.
If they're shit...
It's such a toxic atmosphere. I really wish that things were different.
Exactly. Other people
you feel like
don't dictate
so
it.
lucky when you have a group of people that actually know what teamwork is and
what to do.
Want to be decent, yeah.
And that didn't tilt after the last 7 games they've played today in their mother's basement eating, Doritos and Mountain Dew, and they're just out of their mind, just sad.
The mute all chat function is still broken. I tried it the other day because I've just gotten so I automatically mute chat every game. So and because mute all doesn't just mute chat anymore, it mutes everything, and I still want to hear pings and be like aware of what's going on. I have to go through every game and click on everyone's little message button as I'm going to lane.
Yep.
It's really annoying, but that's what you got to do, or else it's contagious and you just tilt with everyone else.
And you can be super, super positive, and the second you read that one thing that hits you to the core, you can say it didn't affect you. It could be on a very, very minor level. Just
it's subconscious. So that's all.
Just turn the screw just a little bit backwards, just a little bit, and then you can start to release a bit more. After many games, people get personal, which it's not like I haven't. Most people have in the game. I'm guilty of a lot of this stuff. But that's the problem with the game, is that if I'm 14-4 on Varus and we can't win and y'all are dog shit, I should still go up in elo because I'm showing I'm better than these people that I'm playing against. Yeah. 5 on the other team,
I got
and 4 on my team,
and everyone else fed, and besides you.
Well, I mean
that's do feed sometimes, but
yeah,
I did really well on
bad games.
It's because you're aggressive, which is fine. Yeah, you usually have the most kills and the most damage, but you die a lot too. So it's really like a balance.
A lot of that comes from when I was in higher elo and people know
how to back you up.
The flow of combat. When I do something, their reaction is instant because they were already expecting me to do it. Well, that changes a lot.
Well, then you should know that you need to play differently in the CLO.
Look, it makes sense, but at the same time, aggressive is harder to play against. So the way it worked as I climbed to Plat 1 was... this was before the talent tree rework. Draven and Xerath was so absolutely disgusting. You had to 4-man us. Any jungle, it wouldn't matter what it was. One jungler came in, we could still 2v3. Granted, this was a Draven who knew what he was doing, and I was a Xerath that knew what I was doing. So it's not just like a comp that you press buttons and you win, But that 4th person had to come. And we would pressure so hard every game that they're less than half of our CS. Every single lane, we did get 4-manned every game. They had to have their jungler in the mid roam. So that is where that cheeky ward, that I've dubbed the cheeky ward, came from. Because we know that the jungler's coming that way, and then if the other person warded the river, they would have to go around past our red buff where it's not warded. And let's say mid laner didn't ward where they're supposed to, that's the only way we're not going to know. So we got to the point where it was just so devastating. We won 18 to 20 games in a row. It was just disgusting. Now it's Jhin and Xerath. at least from what I can tell, Varus works pretty well. It does work well. However, Jin's and Xerath's ulti, just like Draven's, work hand in hand. Because Jin slows with his, so mine's easier to land. But at the same time, if I miss, he gets his. If he misses, I get mine. So most of the time, they can be half health, and a good play with good synergy, if I hit R, they'll hit R too, and you're pretty much guaranteeing the kill. You would both have to whiff a lot, and it's happened. You know, we have both, not you and I, but, you know, other people. We have done it at the same time. Just a random pickup group person has ulted at the same time as me, and I'm like, I've got to add this. Like, they know how to make this work, and they've probably never had a Xerath, but they can just see it and go, oh, I get how this shit works. Like, this is busted. Then they use the ulti. We've missed our shit every now and then. But that's the reaction speed of they're expecting my behavior before I do it, so that when it happens, they've already calculated, well, when that happens, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
So I'm calling out to you, like, do this, you know, flash, whatever it is. And it's just min-maxing the game a little bit more. So I get what you're saying. I feed more. I do feed more. I do chop it up to my team's decisions to a degree, because I feel I calculated their damage, their cooldowns to the correct amount. I'm not sure whether that's macro or micro. Whichever that is, I'm very on point with it. The other I'm not quite as good at, that I have to focus on that other half of the game. But yes, at the same time, I should know that, especially if it's halfway through a game, that Lee Sin doesn't know how to press Q and actually land it, so I should not even try to do anything that involves that Q landing. Excuse me. Oh my... there is a lion outside our bedroom. Did you guys hear that? Oh my... I am so sorry that you had to hear that feline out there just feasting on something.
Like Theo in the bag of food earlier.
Our cat is a fat, happy cat. We don't yeet it over the back of our chair. Okay? He is loved and more than well taken care of. Taken care. Can I English? Am I saying this right? Well taken cared of? I feel like the more I say it, the less like English it sounds.
Just cut.
Is that it? Well taken care.
Well taken care of.
Is it cared or care?
It's care.
Well taken care of. Both sound strange now.
Or
English,
well cared for. Okay.
Well cared for. He's very well cared for. We fed him today. And we have never had this problem.
Every morning and night we feed him. Every morning and evening, and he eats twice a day.
There was a point where we kept the food in the kitchen, and he would bat at the door of the cabinet. That the cabinet would just go bang, 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 bang. He figured out, and I had been living here before, and over a very long period of time, he didn't know he could do that. I don't know at what point his brain went, okay, new shit, we got to figure something out.
Because we started feeding him on a schedule because he got too fat.
That's true.
And so we basically put him on a diet to make him a little healthier.
That's true. Yeah.
We started feeding him twice a day instead of just refilling his dish when it was empty, pretty much, and he could just eat freely.
Okay, listen. We weren't just like feeding our cat when it was empty. It was he would let you know he was hungry. It wasn't just like, oh, it's empty, give him food.
I would put whatever amount in the dish, and he would just eat at his free will whenever he really felt like it.
I didn't
he
want
wouldn't
it
eat
to
it
sound,
all in sinning.
I didn't want it to sound like we just like force fed our cat food.
No.
Because yes, it does come onto the cat that when you're full, you stop eating. This cat does not.
He acts hungry all the time.
Anyway,
I'm surprised he's not meowing at the door right now.
To get to the story, this is the first time he's ever done this.
Not the first time ever. The first time in a very long time, yeah.
Oh,
he has done it before.
In my lifetime, I've never experienced it. We had gone into the bathroom. You weren't even aware that he had tipped over the box that contained the bag of food in it so that he could get to it. And our son, earlier on this night, came and said, "Oh no, guys. Uh-oh. There's a problem in the bathroom." And I'm like, I can only fucking imagine what this is going to be about. If there's a problem in the bathroom, I thought, great. He's somehow shit on the floor or something. I don't know what to expect here.
I had my first snort on our podcast. I just want to say hello.
And end. Leffin.
Oh, boy.
He goes, Theo is the name of our cat. Theo's vomit in the bathroom on the floor. And I'm like, oh, well, cats do this. I'm positive. Looked it up. There is this unconfirmed action of cats vomiting that they don't know why. Bullshit. It's because they're demon animals. Then when they don't get their way, they go, and then vomit it everywhere. And that's what he does when he wants to eat and it's not time yet. Sometimes he will just let us know visually, audibly for hours, and then visually. So I'm like,
puke
okay,
up a hairball or something in the middle of the hallway.
But no, see, that's not normally. It's just not a hairball. Like cats get hairballs. That's a natural thing. We're talking about vomit that has no business being outside of his stomach. It's just like
liquid.
He's just like, I'm telling you, he's like, fuck you. So Jason, our son, comes and tells us there's a problem in the bathroom. There's vomit on there. Okay, I'm like, all right, fair enough. We walk in. I see that. I'm like, it's biscuits. This is what he does when he eats too much or eats too fast. He'll vomit it back up again.
He doesn't chew it properly. It's all like whole pieces.
He's a fatty and just like tips
Swallows
his bowl up and just opens up his throat and lets it go in. And then his stomach goes, what in the fuck are you doing? Trying to kill us? And then it comes straight back out again. But he had tipped over the bag, which we didn't hear nor were we aware of. So probably for an hour.
Yeah, no, I don't know how we didn't notice this. What all must have happened while Jason was at school, because when he came home, it was shortly after that he found it. Huh?
Was it really? So, dude, it was like that for a while.
I think it was like.
Yeah, he must have just been chilling.
I don't know how we didn't hear it.
He must have been like, oh my God, I could do this every day. Oh my. Every day I'm doing this. This is great.
We must have been off in our own little world because like we didn't hear a thing. It seems like we would have heard that, but we didn't even notice first going in there that he had knocked it took a second to click. Like we found the puke and then I was like, wait, it's biscuits. I gave him soft food this morning. Yeah. Why did he puke up biscuits? And then we noticed the box laying there tipped over with the bag that was like rolled up.
Yeah,
the bag of cat food. We usually
over the box to unroll the bag. Like he's a human being,
and
he does have like 7 thumbs.
He got in the bag and
he does have like 7 thumbs though, so he has the.
He does.
He can use them. He's just like, well, I'm just gonna grab this and just unroll this, and I'm just gonna. What do I get?
He technically.
We got biscuits in here. You know?
Yes. He has 2 on one paw and 3 on the other because he's a mutant. Thumbs, not fingers,
feet,
I guess.
Not complete hands.
So he has 7.
He walks around and has 3 hands on one.
No, I was just picturing like 3 toes all together on one and 2 on the other. So he'd just be this weird like...
That's terrifying. He's not a cat at that point.
No, he has 7 toes on one and 6 on the other.
Others. Right? All 3. Apart from the 7 on one and then 6 on the others, all the other 3. Right?
No, he has his...
It's only
his back feet have 5. A lot of cats only have 4. Actually, when I go and do Zeke's nails, he only has 4. My neighbor's cat, I cut his nails for them because they struggle. Yeah, they struggle to do it themselves, I guess. So I go and help them with it. He only has 4 toes on his back feet. Theo has 5, and on his front feet.
He's not a cat, babe. He has been
Most
sent
cats have
from
5.
hell. He has been sent from hell.
I think.
In this weird.
Mm-hmm.
He's been pieced together by another creature, sent to make you feel at home for many years before he's like, and now she doesn't even know what's coming. And now I live here with you too. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to give it another couple of years to make sure I know how to kill both of them at the same time. What are we going to do?
No, he's not a menace. He's just a little mischievous sometimes. He's a sweet boy. I love him so much.
Mm-hmm.
But
real sweet boy. Yeah, sweet enough to vomit fucking everywhere when he wants to for no reason. He gets the super occasional hairball. That makes sense to me. Like, that's a function you got to do. Makes sense. When he's just like, I've been meowing at you for 3 fucking hours.
I was literally just asking him, why does he act like he hasn't been fed? Like, why is he
screaming.
He's chasing me around.
No. I've peeked out this microphone so much. Guys, I really hope this audio is still okay.
Doable.
God, I hope it's look, it's been a good podcast. I feel good about it.
I'm starting to get a headache, and I feel like I have something like makeup in my eye now. So I think I've about reached my limit. But
just wrap it up.
Mm-hmm.
Get it there. All right. Well, that makes sense. Well, you know what? Did you even drink any of your tea?
I actually did. Thank you.
You drank all of it?
You can go back and I
will definitely go back over the podcast to make sure
to ensure that I finished my tea. Yes.
You finished
No,
it?
I have a little bit left, but I drank most of it. Yeah.
It's still good to a point, but it's cold, so it's like, do I still want to?
It doesn't really bother me. I mean, I'm warm anyway. It's really starting to get warm in here too because
the merch is here already, guys.
I literally warned you.
What do I do with this thing?
I literally warned you not to give me this responsibility. Okay, so that's all I'm gonna say.
She is our merch model. I joked with her before the podcast. You're our merch model, our MM.
Mm-hmm.
This is, I hope you saw earlier, this is obsessed with being annoying.
Perfect for him.
Actually, you know what? I just realized the circle is more than likely in the way. Obsessed with being annoying. If you guys want to pick up this mug, I will leave a link in the description below. I believe this is 11 ounces. I believe that there is a 15-ounce option, but it's not like Americans have like larger mugs from what I could tell. This one's not necessarily large. It's just longer. So it's like, it just comes up longer.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are or happen to know of someone who is unbelievably annoying and you really just need to let them know, obsessed with being annoying. There's that. And guys, the podcast has been brought to you unsponsored by Twinings. Lady Grey. Twinings Lady Grey. Where tea
a staple in our routine.
Where regular tea just doesn't cut it. Lady Grey.
Exactly.
However, the word the name Lady Grey definitely sounds like we're either super snobbish or we're very like, I like tea, but only like sort of tea. So this one's not quite tea. It's like the sweeter kind where it's drinkable. So that's where we're at, Lady Grey.
Pretty much.
And I must say, for our first podcast, it's gone very well. I think audio-wise...
I now have a tick because I have something in my eye and I can't manage anymore, so...
We'll wrap it up. I think the audio is not... I hope the audio is savable. Guys, I will definitely try to figure it out. We tested it, the audio earlier. We didn't even get near max. I feel like we haven't been as loud as it looks, but I'll try and fix it for the next one. Based on the first podcast, it went great. Twinings, listen, if on our 300th and, I don't know, 600th episode, that people finally just start sponsoring. I don't know how that stuff works, but Twinings, I'm telling you.
We go out of our way. We go out of our way for this shit. We have to find it on the internet. We order it because it is our favorite of all time.
Like, look.
They don't sell it in any of the stores we shop anymore for whatever reason.
But I will rep this into the ground because moving from Australia to America, where nothing tastes good or the same.
I have to take credit for this, by the way. Like, I just got you in love with it.
You did. So, fight me on that statement. That nothing here tastes good or similar. Well, I can't say that because this does. This tastes very similar to the tea back home that I would have.
Having had both experiences, I've always agreed that Australian food, their whole like food industry is everything is better. So the way
it sucks, though. Here's the thing, like fight me on it, but at the same time, it sucks and I understand. You know, different podcasts for a different day, talking about how
the differences and whatnot.
Probably not. I'm probably never going to do that podcast because I know exactly what the comments are going to be like. No, no. You will agree on the points I bring up, but I know many people who have never been out of the country are just going to be like, well, fuck you, go back home to where you came from,
America.
And I'd be like, well, I would. Things are complicated. We can't do that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I hacked the government back when I was at home. No brag or anything, so I can't go back. Obviously lies. Trump, if you're listening, and I know you fucking are.
Yikes.
Because you're on the internet, on the toilet all the time.
I just want to say, yikes does not belong to T1. I said that shit first, okay? So I'm not going to change my yikes just because T1 says it. It's mine. It's been my thing.
You created it, baby.
Yep, I did. So I'm keeping the yikes. It's kind of cringy that everyone's gonna relate it back to him, but I don't care.
Why don't you just replace the Y with A and you can say Ikes?
Ikes,
because it's A for Ashley, and it's also like
kind of interesting, but
yikes though.
Yeah,
Ikes.
Yeah,
Ikes. I'm not gonna lie. That's my shit. You can't take that from me.
Okay, you can have it. Don't worry.
No, because then mine's Mike's. Why the fuck am I gonna say Mike's?
Mike's Hard.
What?
Mike's Hard Lemonade.
What is wrong with you?
I need some in my life. Anyway.
Twinings, Lady Grey. Drink.
I've had enough, thank you.
Now, tradition.
Yeah, that's all you, so.
No, we're gonna drown again. I can't do it in this mug again. I like drinking from that mug, but that action can't be done in that one. Give me this one.
No, it's mine.
I can't,
You're gonna defile my tea.
I can't end the podcast.
That's
They've
literally
got things to do.
That is an intro thing. That is definitely not an outro thing.
And the outro is that I do it from your mug. It makes sense on the internet, okay? You just have to go along with it. They've got things to do, babe. They've got people to go talk about how they just found this amazing podcast they're never going to tune into again because the YouTube subscription
blow
system
bubbles
doesn't
from my
work.
mug is going to make or break them. Okay. See what I live with?
You said it. It's true. Okay, wow, there's way less in this cup than there is in that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot less in this one.
Well, you want to talk shit about my tea drinking again, or?
Let me give it another try. I don't want to laugh because I will choke. I will be on the ground. I'll need CPR. That's how that works, right? Yeah.
Lord, help us all.
No, that's not how that works. That's no. Oh my god, that's so sweet! Ah! No! That is not the outro from now on, guys. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I have to go.
Bleach your mouth.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Demonetized. God damn it, babe. We nearly got there. If in the beginning
we already lost out on
but
it
if it
anyway.
wasn't gonna happen, bleach in the mouth. That'll do it.
True.
God damn, that'll
I
do
did
it.
drop the F-bomb a couple times, so I don't know if that has an impact,
fine.
but
That's
yeah.
All right, well, guys, listen. We appreciate you somehow stumbling onto our podcast. For all the family and friends that somehow eventually will find this video, 8 years down the track, do you have anything? That's it. Do you want to say something?
I think that does it.
That does it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
Thank you for loving us anyway.
That's right.
The hot mess.
Thank you for loving the mess.
That is.
That is. I like that. Thank you for loving the mess that is. Subscribe and use the bell notification so that you have a slightly greater chance of seeing our videos.
Word.
Peace.
Peace.
Dude, that went really well. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm hot.
Yes, you are. Hello.
Something in my eyeball.
I've been eyeing you this whole time. Do you come here often? Because this is my home, but if you come here often, you're welcome to continue. Who let you in?
I have ear sweat. Ear sweat.
I retract my invitation.